Charlie Smith, editor of the Georgia Straight, and I'm very happy to be back for another week on WOW TV. One of the biggest stories in the Lower Mainland this week concerned Surrey politics and the decision by a two-term councillor, Burinder Rizzotti, to step down as a councillor with Surrey First and sit as an independent. This is the culmination of a long-running dispute between Councillor Rizzotti and Mayor Diane Watts that's somewhat issue-based, somewhat based in personal differences, but also rooted in ideology. And I think the ideological differences have not been given their due in the media. So basically what you have is when Diane Watts became mayor, she was with the Right of Centre Party, the Surrey electors team, as a councillor. She had a problem with the mayor of the day, Doug McCallum, and she was perceiving that he was acting in a high-handed way and was not involving the voices of the people and some members of council. So she sat as an independent, and then she won election, defeating Mayor McCallum, and has gone on to become one of the most popular mayors in British Columbia. Well, she won in 2008 in part because she recruited some more progressive people onto her slate, including a veteran councillor by the name of Judy Villeneuve, as well as a rookie councillor named Burinder Rizzotti. And Burinder Rizzotti has a background with the Canadian Auto Workers. She was raised in Kamloops from a progressive Sikh family and was seen to be someone with ties with the New Democrats, the same with Judy Villeneuve. So what Diane Watts was able to do was she cobbled together a coalition of kind of centrists and moderate progressives and was able to basically annihilate the left-wing Surrey Civic Coalition, and she did that in 2 straight elections with the help of a left flank with Judy Villeneuve and Burinder Rizzotti. Well, what's happened in recent years is Diane Watts has become seen as being increasingly conservative. She was rumored as a possible successor to Gordon Campbell, but she didn't enter the race in the BC Liberal Party. There was a lot of talk that if Christy Clark had lost the last provincial election, that Diane Watts was the leader in waiting. She invited George Bush and Bill Clinton, but George Bush was the controversial one, to an economic summit in Surrey that was caused protests from people on the left who make the allegation that George Bush was a war criminal because he invaded Iraq without the authorization of the UN Security Council, and as well there were all the torture allegations in connection with the Abu Ghraib prison. So this became a big issue. But more recently what's happened is the policing issue in Surrey has become very big. 25 murders in Surrey in 2013, culminating in the tragic beating of a hockey mom, Julie Pascal, outside the Newton Arena. Burinder Rizzotti rushed into that. She was chair of the police commission, and she was basically saying there needed to be a whole bunch of things done in that area, including more police officers. She's questioned the contracting of policing to the RCMP. Surrey doesn't have its own municipal force. There was a commentary criticizing Burinder Rizzotti by a local blogger. Diane Watts actually was she liked the criticism of her own councillor, Facebook likes, 4 of them, and then that became public, and then the mayor apologized to Councillor Rizzotti, but she was removed as chair of the police commission. So now this week, Burinder Rizzotti has stepped down as a councillor with the Surrey First. I've been hearing for a few weeks now that she's been considering running for mayor. But then the issue is, well, who would she run against? Diane Watts is the mayor. She won by more than 50,000 votes. It would be very difficult to defeat her. But there's some speculation that Diane Watts may run as a federal conservative in the 2015 election. The seat of South Surrey, White Rock, Cloverdale will be vacant because Russ Hebert is not seeking re-election, and some believe that the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, has actually actively been trying to recruit Diane Watts as a candidate. Another school of thought is that Diane Watts may be kind of sitting on her heels, may run for a re-election as the mayor of Surrey, and be in a position to possibly run for leader of the BC Liberal Party should Christy Clark falter. And right now it looks like Christy Clark's in a pretty secure position, having won a majority against the odds. But there are a couple of clouds on the horizon, one of them being an RCMP investigation that is currently underway in connection with a report. It was issues arising out of a report by her Deputy Minister, John Dybel, and that dealt with the ethnic outreach scandal that was dominating the news before the 2013 election. However, I think the real issue in this dispute on Surrey Council centers on ideology. Bernda Rizzotti is progressive. She's more associated with the New Democrats. In recent years, Diane Watts has become more associated with the provincial Liberals and the federal Conservatives. Maybe not the federal Conservatives to such an obvious degree. She's a strong supporter of the RCMP policing in Surrey. The RCMP has tended to be opposed to certain measures like supervised injection sites, which are popular in Vancouver and which are popular with New Democrats. So we haven't seen the end of this. It's conceivable that Bernda Rizzotti could run against Diane Watts for mayor. Keep in mind there's a very, very large South Asian population in Surrey. Many of its members are quite progressive politically. So Bernda Rizzotti would have a bedrock of support. There's also a lot of New Democrats in Surrey in the northern section particularly. She'd have a lot of organizational support. I don't think she would have difficulty raising money. But if I were to bet, it would be that Bernda Rizzotti will run as an independent for council. Mayor Watts will seek re-election as mayor. And should Mayor Watts move on to the federal stage in 2015, then Bernda Rizzotti would run for mayor as an independent in a by-election.